All right, I'm going to call the American 250 Subcommittee meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. on Tuesday, August 27th, 2024. Next item is our approval of the minutes submitted by Marge. Thank you so much, Marge, for doing them. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from June 6th, 2024? Moved by Sarah Marshall. Can I get a second? Second by Melissa Cherninsky. Any discussion? Any revisions? All right, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? All abstaining? I abstain. Thank you. Motion passes. All right, so discussion of concept plans and ideas. So Sarah, Chase, thank you so much for organizing the document.
Yeah, nicely done.
Great thing in here. So I put together, if you want to grab an agenda here, so over by the door, by the trash can, there is the agenda, the minutes, and then there are plans right here. That's 2 pages front and back. You just want to take a quick look at it if you haven't already. It's just a review of some concepts or ideas. And I appreciate Sarah, thank you for grasping everything from the last meeting, putting it all together. Is there any discussion on these plans? Or is there anything that anybody would like to add? Anything to delete, subtract, modify?
Are we just going through the whole thing, or are we just?
We can go piece by piece if you'd like. We can go just however, if you want to fall over, we can jump all over, whatever seems more appropriate for.
I had a couple of suggestions.
Sure. So events leading up, is there anything that anyone would like to modify on those 5 items for the events to our 250th celebration plan?
I had a comment on number 5.
Sure.
I think patriotic story times every week might be a bit much. I mean, I love America and all, but that's a lot of America. So I think we could probably manage maybe, quarterly probably sounds a little more reasonable to me for something so specifically themed. So that's probably what I would ask of the staff.
Sure, we definitely have that.
I think you just choose a day every quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I did do some digging around about the musical 1776. And basically was informed we cannot afford it. It would be.
Not with a grant?
Really expensive. Maybe with a grant, but it would need to be a pretty significant grant, like $10,000 to $20,000.
Okay.
So it doesn't mean we can't do it, but what was suggested to me, so I talked to Jane Farnell, who's a local director, and she's the one who looked into it for me and said that seems prohibitive. But she said you could very easily show the film, which is outstanding, and do that instead, save your money and still really get to enjoy a fabulous show that's thematically appropriate, but not gonna break the bank.
What if we also did the screening of the film and asked the Kent singers to do like a special choral presentation?
Something like that sounds.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's also being shown somewhere and we could do a bus trip. So that someone could do a bus trip, like we could do buy a seat on the bus and go to Manhattan or wherever it's being shown, Hartford. I'm sure that it's gonna be being shown somewhere.
You mean like performed?
Yeah, oh, sure, yeah. So like,
as an adventure.
absolutely, like, and it doesn't have to, it can be anyone, a family of 5, like at lunch in a theater is always.
And if it's not 1776, should we offer Hamilton as another option?
Absolutely, I love that, but I feel like since we're not the only ones working on this, chances are it's gonna be offered somewhere in doable. And rent a, big bus.
Yes.
Or do it with Warren, because probably they were doing it too.
Yep. There are gonna be some postings online for what other towns are doing, and there's on one of the documents I have in our folder, it has one place that you can just see all of our submissions of what we're doing, and then what other towns are submitting as well for collaboration opportunities, for jumping in and attending other events on a calendar. So if I spot anything, or if anybody spots anything, we can totally talk about jumping in on it and work going with that town municipality to wherever we want to go with them. New York City to go see the musical, or if there's something, something closer, a little bit further, very open to it. So yeah.
Is there an opportunity for the Historical Society, the Land Trust and Park and Rec to do some kind of hike?
Yeah.
you know, leading up, I mean, we would have to put our heads together what that means, but I feel like, you know, just offering opportunities outside to do some kind of hike would be fun. And Mark and I have thrown some pretty great ones in the past.
I can certainly see the land trust providing space for some sort of revolutionary reenactment.
Yes, I did mark that down, we weren't on there, but yeah, that should, we would definitely.
And I can, sorry, I don't know how good my volume is, but we also have all of the state fields down below at the museum properties that could be utilized as well, either for hikes or property space.
Yeah,
Yep.
reenactment would be great, an encampment.
Yeah, I hope that, like, I love the TLC field idea for the reenactment and that people will drive by and just join in. And we did the one in Marblewood that was so fun that.
Andrew, I also really know, I think I left off of here, things that we do with the Sloan Stanley Museum. And any items that would pop up in terms of trade or blacksmith, or like things that we do with, that's around the trades of the Revolutionary War. We could do it.
Yeah,
Yeah, so we'd always been bouncing that one off. You and I had been bouncing that one off for a while, and we could now get Brent Kalstrom involved and
So
do
it's-
some kind of cemetery tour with it.
There is a way to get from the Sloan Fields, this is what made me think of it, up into the town, the Congregational Church Cemetery. I'm not sure there's any revolutionary graves in there, but there might be.
That's where we get Brent involved
Potters would
and
probably know,
With that.
the Potters would probably know.
Oh, I've
Well,
got-
Brent's
I've
gonna
got
know
the list.
too.
I can easily.
yeah,
There's
our
other-
sexton, Brent.
There's other old cemeteries in town, like, you
Well,
know,
there's
like,
Good Hill, Bulls Bridge are the earliest.
there's also the Pete family one,
Right,
but,
on Pete Hill.
which is, well, near the Bass property,
Yep.
which has some really
Yep.
ones in it, so.
Yeah.
I don't know, this might be something.
Yeah. There are some on people's private property
Right.
too, like where one of my relatives is buried and we can't access it normally, so if they would be willing to open up property.
It could be in a style like the gun museum does though, which we've gone to. Or where, you know, you have, it doesn't actually have to be your family stone there, but then they have like actors that are playing your family at a stone that just happens to be next to other of the same time period. The gun museum does a great one that we.
Remember the Civil War one we did in Congo with Roger Pete and Georgia and Ken played a couple that had lost a lot of children in the war, and we had little scripts they could make.
Yeah, you do like a script and you do you know, you dress up. and-
People love that.
They
I'm on
do.
the board of the historic Sharon Burying Ground, and we do a lot of tours, cemetery tours with actors.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't have to be even at night, but the gun one, they do it at night. So you do like the luminaries around the, it's so, I mean, it's so fun. I think Marge and I might have done it way too many times. We had a lot of fun.
We could ask the restaurants too, like a ghostly encounters night too, where some of the ghosts of town past walking the restaurants, kind of unexpected.
That's a good
Oh my gosh, like a mystery,
So funny.
we could do a townwide murder or mystery type of thing or
Ghostly
ghostly
Or just, you know, like somebody walks into the
Yeah.
Kingsley some night and says, I'm so and so from
I'm
Canada.
a ghost of so and so, yeah,
Sarah does it.
and unusual.
But to jump back on Andrew. what
Yeah,
we're talking
sorry,
about,
Andrew.
A little sidetracked on that, but the opportunities that you have to provide for us at the museum and then on the field as well, and any ideas that you have, I'm more than happy to hear and more than happy to take some feedback from you on what you want to provide and what we're already offering.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So as far as the reenactment, we actually have a historic weapon safety policy that we do for reenactments with the state. So we're working on that now because if anyone's put one on before, there's insurance requirements involved. There's a lot of liability with, you know, inviting people with guns to show up and everything that can go wrong with that. So with the state, we have a policy that we work through with that, which helps eliminate some of those liabilities. So happy to host that if it's needed. We also, of course, have the iron furnace. It's not 18th century, but we can talk about early industry. All of the trades classes and workshops that we do are usually Revolutionary War time period or could be tied into that point. We can talk about economy during that period, which would be fun to do. But then we also have our bell ringing ceremony.
Mhm.
Oh, no, on the third, right?
Usually it's as close to the 4th as we can get it. Sloan had it signed into law with Eric Hatch in 1963 to return to bell ringing as a way to celebrate the 4th. So it might. I don't live in town, as most of you have gathered that I've had the pleasure to meet. So I'd always wanted to see about getting any place in town with a bell to contribute that day to be able to ring. So it's not just the museum bell ringing.
There's 3 is being on that.
Georgianne would love that.
Churches.
Are there more than 3?
The churches would be.
All 3? All 3?
Yeah.
There it is, it's
Yeah.
that by Eric.
That would be one.
If we did the parade on the 4th, we could coordinate just hear me out here, we could do the coordinated bell ringing to start off the parade.
That'd be.
And then everybody along the parade route could have bells
Yeah.
too.
Encourage.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like a flag race.
Awesome, see. Cool. Thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, no worries. Oh, and happy to, I can, if there's anything off-site that we can come and do demonstrations or programs, always happy to pitch in where we can. But if we need land for stuff, just give us a shout. We can usually make something happen.
Thank you. All right, so any other comments or anything you'd like to add? This is still a fluid document as we work through things, but I think there'd be more jumping points for one to report to the selectmen, what we're doing and just give a brief overview of where we're at and what we're pursue. I think just the additions of now and the document where it stands pretty good.
So Sarah, under community involvement, you're gonna add Kent Land Trust and Eric's Land Museum.
And I'll just to clarify, I'll take on updating this with everything that was just said here, so.
Thank you.
And if I might, suggest, once we as a committee represented this to the selectmen, we probably gotta publish it too, so that we can get people who can start to fill in the blanks on it.
One thing I'm really interested in is number 3 of the lead up events, the patriotic essay contest for local schools. I think that's a terrific idea. I think it may be difficult to get somebody from South Kent School right here. But so we have to figure out which of the teachers to engage with.
I mean, whether it be through the English classes or through the history classes. Of course, all of our schools in town are internationally diverse, so focusing on 1776 may not be relevant.
But I.
Which is why maybe the
I wonder if
English
there's
lesson.
Yeah, I wonder if there's like a roadshow that,
This is a training, I mean, a learning opportunity for
Yeah.
them. They're in
Yeah.
this country to go to school.
So, but I think something could be done easily through that. I do think in terms of all of these, it's important to think, well, of course, our schools are getting out at the end of May. So what can we do before the end of May at the 3 schools in town and then the public high school to
And that's why I like
integrate with
this,
their curriculum.
that's what I was thinking about with this essay contest, because they could have all winter.
Well,
and spring
plenty
to-
of lead up to it, easily keep it worked into
Yeah.
either an English class, I mean, I teach a writing class, like.
All right.
Am I right?
And it also doesn't have to just be about 1776 with any of these programs we're thinking about, because obviously that's carrying forward. So a lot of that focus, I've been seeing other places look at like, how we're going to be looking at, America in the Cold War and this idea of Americana and nostalgia coming about from, founding fathers in a time that was really difficult for the country. So I've seen a lot of sites thinking outside of just the 18th century. So that might give us a little bit of wiggle room with those essays. You could have a series of words and how it plays out through time or something like that. But we don't have to be inside the rails.
Right, Andrew, this says the theme would be the meaning of democracy and the Declaration of Independence, but I think within that, we could come up with some more targeted topics that the kids could choose from.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, and also there could be different grade level things. I mean, someone writing as a senior would write something very different from, say,
Good point.
someone at Kent Center.
so maybe the like younger grades can do a picture or something. Maybe there's like an opportunity for art.
Art?
Yeah, because then we could display it
Good idea.
on, you know, like have boards or something at the library or somewhere that the art gets displayed.
And I can definitely tie into the community mural projects a little bit.
Yeah, we
What
could
we
run
have.
that out to be,
Yeah.
essay, art and poetry contests too, it doesn't have to just be essay contests.
Yeah.
And to include some of the international students too, we talked about the impact of like the American founding worldwide, or the impact of the WS.
Yeah.
But and simpler topics like for people from this, you know, what does America mean to them? And there might be some very interesting and varying perspectives on that, which can be very good.
Absolutely.
I've got to pat myself on the back just for a minute, because when going through all these GTDs for Matt, I was reminded that when I graduated from Kent Center in 8th grade, I won the GTD Freedom Award, which was given annually. And the topic was how education strengthens freedom. And boy, is that relevant today.
Yeah.
You know, so there's, I think, a lot of different topics that.
So the topics changed each year. I mean, that doesn't
It always
exist
had
anymore,
something to
so.
do about, it was always something to do about democracy and freedom. But each year it was a different topic, and I was lucky enough to get one kind of education.
I wonder if there's an opportunity to take some of those and put like a magazine together of some of them.
Yep.
Because like there's people that are still local, you know, so some of them, obviously the people aren't local, the families aren't, no, but like.
These are extraordinary, these are 8th graders
Mm.
doing phenomenal work, very thoughtful.
Provided the grant or the award.
The GTD. The GTD, yeah. After the meeting closes, I'll tell you about my experience with it. Not for the recording.
The mural project, maybe it doesn't actually live on like a building or something, but maybe it starts at the Memorial Day picnic with the mural, what we do at the Memorial Day picnic. Maybe this year the mural is the one that happens then, so that then it can be out at the parade and things like that.
Yeah. And then tying into that with the land trust, if you do your themed hike of that year, geared towards the 4th of July or Independence or something along those lines, I think that'd be a great tie-in. Potentially.
Marlene loves the hiking challenge.
Just do it in a day.
Public commitment, it's like for all. And a little busy.
For the community mural project too, we could change, and be placeholder, so we could change the theme to something like visions of freedom and democracy. And let's get a little bit more
Yeah.
community oriented.
But even just the red, white, and blue, or stars and stripes, or something that is a little looser, but allows for all ages to participate as opposed to.
That'd be fantastic.
Are there any community groups left out? I've also introduced those art association too.
I think I like the idea of Kent singers, I don't remember who brought that up, but I think they should be listed and engaged. Yeah, it's on the third page.
I bet they would love something.
Yeah.
Oh, and also the churches too.
I don't see the lions in here.
I was
Lions Club,
gonna say, my quick thing was when you talked about the bells, I would love to design a special bell for the event.
Oh,
That would be neat, if the Lions could get involved with financially supporting that and coordinating the handing
Or an
out.
ornament,
Or an ornament.
like I love the
Yeah.
pewter ornaments that the historical society stopped doing, but like, if we brought it back for this occasion, it would be very special.
Some type of design and the financial support to that, I would,
By that, you
willing.
mean people have bells, or do you wanna have a commemorative bell that maybe would be commemorating the occasion? That would be in some public place in the town, that could then be run, like,
oh,
you know, like
Maybe that's what
like
the,
at the library.
maybe selling the ornaments pays for the bell
Although
that
these
is
things
then
aren't cheap,
placed
so.
somewhere.
but I mean, we have time to put that together.
Yeah, a commemorative, like an ornament of some sort is always good. I mean, we still find those at the tag sale at St. Andrews where people donate them and they're wonderful.
The wood pewter ones are.
Yeah, but
really
you could do a
just-
bell that then people could have
I still
then
have
in time for the parade and then keep.
Do it as a fundraiser.
Do it as a fundraiser.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
yeah.
The other little organizations that aren't the bigger ones are, I know the Kent Quilters love a theme, they love a theme,
Right.
they'll do on anything.
Yeah.
And The other one is the garden club should try to,
Oh.
if they can kind of go heavy on the red, white, and blues
Mhm.
for that year, we just.
Maybe
need to-
that year is the year we do like planters on both sides of Main Street or something. I mean,
Yeah.
every town,
Like really do
you
it
know,
up.
like really do it up that
Yeah.
year, whether it be
Yeah.
banners or
Yeah.
really nice planters or
And
something.
that to me is another opportunity for funding from something like the Lions Club that sometimes needs a goal, but that's expensive, so that would be great.
To jump on the funding aspect, there are some grants available. There's a lot of quick access grants, so the fast acting ones that we can apply quick and get the money for quickly if we need to. In one of the documents I have in our shared drive, I put 3 links. One of them is for CT Humanities, and they have a very strong, healthy list of grant opportunities.
Great.
So if there's anything we feel that would be something we need to apply for a grant for, I think it would be appropriate for us to start formulating what that is and by, the next meeting, within our next meeting or two to really solidify. and
Because they've got some
on those.
different layers of grant. One is a planning grant.
Right, one is a planning.
One is-
But I assume those grants are gonna go quick and then the funding is gonna dry up since everyone's doing this. So we need to
So I would say
kind
if
of
we wanna.
jump on it.
We can definitely jump on it and we set our next date and time for our meeting. I think it might be a prime opportunity for us to solidify what grant opportunities we wanna go for. So, yeah. Anything else? I think that this was a really good discussion. There was a lot added to the document that's just so healthy, and so striking everyone. Excited.
I think it would be good to make sure we look at the chamber's nonprofit list and just make sure we haven't overlooked one, because I know there's a lot and there's so many and I would hate to miss
Yeah, there's
one.
a lot though, I mean, I just was reaching out to them recently,
Yeah.
there's a lot of them are out of town, like
For
they
sure.
have like a loose connection here, but.
Of course,
I
I
think we
just-
hit the biggies.
I
Do
just
we
don't wanna.
officially want to engage the Kent Democrats and the Kent Republicans?
We could.
I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, they are organized.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can let them.
There's a lot of overlap in these groups too. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
someone in the Kent Democrats is probably here and the Republicans involved there, but it's just, I mean, they are very involved in the town, so.
I like that it would be nonpartisan.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. They're also patriotic. They are involved in politics because they believe in
Yeah,
America.
But if we had a parade or something, right, the Democrats could do another bake sale, the Republicans can sell bells too, like there's a bunch of things.
Just after cooperative support.
And I think
Yeah,
we
I-
can invite them, like there seems to be a couple of contests, we could be careful to invite members of both organizations to be on panels to judge essays or artwork or any of that stuff.
That's a great way to engage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Why don't I put other civic and political organizations too, so to catch
And
all.
religious stuff like.
Yeah. Other local.
Yeah, churches.
Yeah. Good.
And then I think if we do publish this like in the GTD to get feedback, the groups will self-select for what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe it has like a Google form that people can fill out to like say, I wanna do this, or I'd like to host this, or however it is worded, but a Google form
And
to like
I think,
submit.
just before we leave the churches, the First Congregational Church was the church at the time, that
Yeah.
existed. So I think we really need to. let
Was it
them-
on that site at that point?
Yeah.
No,
That was
it was
further
up,
up,
it was farther up, it had one place that doesn't exist anymore, there's a big rock there, then another one still up in the Flanders area near Seven Hearts. And then they moved down here when the railroad came through.
Right.
But the original one was way up, but everybody was part of the
You
church,
were.
and you had to go to church.
Matt, could we create like a Google form that would have, if somebody wants to, if an organization wants to come up with an idea, they would come up with the idea, what they would propose to do it, the date, and who we would coordinate with.
Right, a contact info, so that one of us would get back to, would contact them directly, engage, yeah. There's nothing that would have been in the center, in now current center of the town at that time, right? Like, there's no walking tour in town because that just doesn't.
Swift House being one of them, Old House possibly.
Mhm.
There was another one even earlier that got torn down. Swift House, we're not totally sure about, but it was,
Right.
yeah, it was around that time. Swift House might have been a little bit later.
And the Sentinel Bar would have been right around that time too, the KLT bar. It's the same price.
Maybe, yeah, yeah. But no, primarily the
Yeah.
a place at ours.
So I had questions about the idea of a 18th century costume ball at night. I mean, 4th of July is such a family event. And that is not something that children do. And it just, I mean, it seems like could it be at some other time, but on 4th of July,
What day is it?
it was listed as an event for the 4th of July.
What is it Saturday? You think?
I don't know,
Yeah.
but it's just,
We could do it.
Better look it up.
people like fireworks, they like hot dogs, they like hamburgers, they like, you
So
know.
it is a Saturday, so it could be Friday.
Yeah, we could
Do
do
it
it
on
Friday
Friday.
night and then maybe do something here in town Saturday night.
And people want fireworks. I don't know if they can be fired off in town, but people like
We
fireworks.
can definitely work on fireworks. And it's definitely.
Something.
So we've done that before on the fields, you
Yeah.
know,
Yes.
the one next to the greenhouse on that
Right.
side of the road. We've done
Right, that would make a good place for it, but it's
Yeah.
just, people,
And that was
it's a family thing, right? And people want.
Yeah,
We definitely apply for the fireworks.
And that might even be
Yeah.
the kind of thing where you could have music at, maybe the Kent Singers could do some of their singing there. I'm just brainstorming, but
Yeah.
so you could, unfortunately, we weren't playing baseball then, but you could have what games did they
Find out the
play then,
names.
like horseshoes or whatever, things like that. That'd be family type stuff.
Burn the witch, that would be fun. Burn the witch, I are good at corn.
can do that, right?
But it's that kind of stuff, which
Yeah.
is, what did they do for entertainment in the 1770s when they weren't fighting the British? Well,
They did like the wheels, right? They.
yeah, that's what.
Right, the hoops, Andrew, the wheels, they
Oh.
would like do the wheels.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
That's the
and,
game.
and there's a lot of different games. We could actually, I can look and see if there's any Sloan sketches we could pair with them, because he has he's like the king of nostalgia. You know, we can look at all of this, like, you know, ye old timey stuff, and maybe recreate some of that. I totally agree about the ball, and also anything that might have reenactors in it is going to be super hard to get people locked down for that, because every town is trying to get, like, that's everyone's first thought is like, let's get reenactors, and there's only so many. And we're dealing with that with some other sites that people are already locked into things. So that might be something, if we have anything that has like reenactors or like costume idea, we need to get on it and like now. But
The fireworks too, we're gonna have to like.
right.
I mean, 4th of July in and of itself is already like the day, and then
Us adding fireworks.
if there were something like a town picnic that night where
Right.
it was, you know, started at 5 and it had music and old timey games, and then people just hung around maybe singing and blah, 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 and then shut things off in the air at 9.
That would be the best use of the land trust.
So this is.
Right, we have to put a picture.
This isn't, well, I mean, there could still be a dinner dance maybe the night before, but that actual 4th of July would involve families, fireworks, food.
That's what I'm thinking.
And so like the giant tent, we have to reserve, we need money for, those are things we can actually like write the grant for pretty quick.
Yeah, we can write that pretty quick, yeah. So
Rentals
family
and
fireworks
tables.
is fun.
Didn't there
4th of
used to
July.
be
Yeah.
a-
5 I love
We have
We have a picture,
1 year at least, the Golden Falcon lot.
right?
There used to be a house there that belonged to a man named John Judd,
Yes.
who actually lived in the old building. He owned the old building at South Kent School.
All right.
Then he moved into town. We have this amazing picture that I think might have been in, let's say, 1926 of a 4th of July picnic. And just all these long tables, and the women had their nice white dresses on, the men had straw boaters, bow ties, and it just was an amazing event, and I've only found a couple pictures of it, but I've only found that one reference to it. I think it must have been 1926.
And it was in what is now Golden
On
Falcon
the
Field.
Golden Falcon lot, that was his front yard,
Yeah.
or in his side yard.
For the 4th of July.
4th of July.
It would be amazing,
If-
even if we don't do this, to get that
To use
blown
it.
up big, those pictures and like something, I
Somewhere
mean.
it's gotta be you.
Yeah, those pictures need to be
Well,
blown
it'd be
up big.
To do something like tied to the parade and field if we get permission. like, I don't know, serving lemonade there or something, something.
Watermelon and lemonade,
Yeah,
something,
something like that
yes,
as part of
giant
it,
cake.
yeah, something, I don't know, just to kind of pay homage to that and have a big photo there.
I thought I saw that the parade was gonna end here at Town Hall, is that still the plan?
We are flexible.
Because if it started here and ended on the Golden Falcon Field, that's be like a little gathering and then a separate one.
Maybe
Parking
ring
is
the,
solved
maybe
with
ring the
that.
bells of the churches at the end of the parade
Yeah.
or something, like,
When everybody's gathered.
every, you know, and then this sort of
And then
march
they're all-
over there, and then the final word, and now we salute, and all the bells in town are gonna ring or something.
I don't know, cool. Maybe we can get something on the train line to come down that would, you know, have a bell on it. Ring a bell.
It'd be great if you could do that, that sounds like a lot of work.
You never know. Try to see.
Brainstorm.
Just try on Golden Falcon Field. Yeah. Awesome. Anything else that we feel we might want to add? At the moment?
With the costume law, I was thinking that would be something where people, and maybe this is something historical society might want to sponsor all. Because it would be people writing their own historical attire and kind of like when we did the town's 250th birthday celebration, doing that, so it's a little bit, and that we can sell tickets to as well, just as.
So what would this event be, Sarah?
It's number 3 under July 4th,
So it is a
2026.
So here's what I'm talking about.
And we would get some.
Move it to a different night.
Yeah, that might make sense to do it on the Friday.
Yeah,
You're saying that, okay.
Yeah, and that would be sort of a more. Okay, I think when we did it for the town's 250th birthday, I mean, like, we had, like, Don Connery played George Washington, and we had some people in town who took on historical roles, and we could do sort of the signing of the Declaration of Independence and some speeches and then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would just say also, those pictures blown up big would be the decor, like,
Yeah.
everyone loves to see pictures of their friends in the past. or
Yeah, we've got a
whatever, like-
lot of pictures of that event.
Yeah, and could you imagine seeing it all around the community has the big, you know, poster boards of the pictures.
And I suppose since we have the large constitution in here, we wanna do a town signing of the Declaration of Independence too, because getting one of these is not
That makes sense to me to have a different,
enough.
and no, a different, not an updated, like a totally, the other document.
That's it, that's what-
Go ahead.
Right, good job, right.
Right.
And
That's what we're celebrating.
you can see, did you have something to say?
Jump
Oh,
in.
Jump on it. Yeah.
I was just gonna say with those the pictures I think are amazing, and it might even be something we could get multiple uses out of them where however big we blow them up, you know, maybe one weekend in town you have them almost like a storyboard walk where throughout town there's these pictures of 4th of July's throughout town or throughout history, excuse me, and how people in Kent celebrated. So it's like just in front of businesses or wherever. And then we could also use them for decorations for other events. But, you know, people always love old photos, like you were saying. So we could get multiple uses out of them.
That'd be awesome.
I'll look in our file and see what we've got.
But even you could ask in the Google form, do you have pictures of yourself?
Right.
You and your family to submit, because you can make the Google form be a photo submission too.
And I know that picture of John Judd is probably gonna need somebody with really good AI skills to, if we're gonna blow it up, it's gonna need some more.
We know someone.
Oh, yeah,
You can
okay,
chat.
I need to talk to him.
All right, anything else we wanna add to the document at the moment, or do we feel comfortable to have Sarah add some things to it, and then that I will set up the Google form? I can also look into the fireworks and grant funding for that, and if there's anybody else who wants to take on a specific task that we discussed, but I feel those are some of the top priorities at the moment. And maybe if someone wants to talk to Andrew about the cemeteries. Andrew?
Brian.
Thank you. Thank you, Andrew.
I can do that.
Thank you,
I've
Marcia.
been already working with him. So what am I
Perfect.
asking him?
Just asking about.
Location of graves and
Oh, the
what,
grade.
how we could, and,
He's gonna ask.
oh, I know, and then
I
also
can do that, I've got.
but also big names, right, like,
Or like a cemetery tour and then just.
but also the names, right, and if there's names or grades that are particularly stand out as being the ones that we should be highlighting.
All I'm saying is he's gonna put that
Of
right
course
back
he
in my
is.
lap.
Of course he is.
Well, he's just taken over this job, and I've got all the documents, I know every single grade in place. I've also got notice of all Revolutionary War soldiers, we just need to match these two books.
So maybe one of these free activities could be like a re-rubbings or something like for teaching how to do it ethically and,
Yes, that's
you know,
right.
correctly and,
Yep.
you know,
It's not really a good idea, but if it's done right.
if it's done right, but you have to tell people, you have to educate and people don't know that it's
I'm happy
not.
to do that, I've got a whole
Yeah.
list on the do's and don'ts. I'm happy to do
But
that.
as a free, event,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's gonna be more interest in our
Mhm.
cemeteries now that there's. And stuff.
Awesome. Alright, so anything else before we move on? Going once? Going twice? Awesome. So I think the next thing that we need to do is give a report to the Board of Selectmen. I think it's just a great statement of saying that we are working on this, that the plan is in progress. We will be meeting again on X date when we decide our next meeting date. And then give just the current give the current plan that we already have that we're going to say that we're working on it to add and modify. And we'll be exploring some opportunities for grants and specific things that we need funding for. And assessing and finalizing those specific items.
Can we apply for our own grant if we need their assistance?
You go through Barbara.
Good Barbara first, okay.
Does that sound like a good report to give to the select board?
Yeah.
So I can write that and I'll submit it to the select board for their meeting on Wednesday. Alright, so next steps, I think the next step would be to establish our next meeting and finalize the documents. And I'll set the Google form and do some research as well on the things that I'm tasked with, and Bart will do some research as well. And if there's anything else anybody has thoughts on or comes up with, or wants to modify, I'm more than happy to entertain it. And I think that at our next meeting, we discuss it. I know that we wanted to meet, I think we discussed quarterly, but I think maybe having something a little bit sooner, because a lot of other towns, I did just have a meeting with all the other towns in Connecticut that are participating in America 250, and they seem to be either just forming or they're already ahead of the game. They formed last year and they already are starting to apply for grants and already have things pretty much finalized. So I think maybe if we plan something for October to meet and we just go ahead late September or do something in October and just finalize our plan, submit it, and then start applying for what we need to apply for. I think that might be a strong.
I'm gonna
Next
be
up.
on vacation end of October into, I think I come back up end of September, I'm actually going for a month. I'll be back on October 3rd.
But as you find photos, can you put them or send them to someone or put them in the Google Drive so we don't have to rediscover those photos
Mhm.
as they go?
Mhm.
I don't know if you're familiar or comfort with Google Drive, but
Not
I can
me,
help.
I can-
But if you emailed them to me, I could put
Yeah,
them in
and
the
we-
Google Drive.
We have a new director as of last week. Who really goes in that kind of stuff. She really is so excited about this. Her big, strong thing is programming and education. So all I need to do is give her, she's really tech savvy, which I'm not, so.
Just didn't wanna put too much on you, but
No.
I don't wanna have to go
Christine.
investigating the pictures
Yep.
again if you're coming upon
No,
them now.
we can do that. You've got.
So are we thinking for the next meeting? You said you're away in September.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone else have any conflicts for end of September, early October? I know.
If we could do sometime after October 12th, because end of September is crazy with Camas Festival, and then we have Trades Up Spark on October 12th, and that I'm much freer after that.
Perfect. And I'm away from the 5th through the 14th, so.
Let's do that
anything-
reports.
Anything after the 14th in October, so maybe let's choose Tuesday nights work for everybody?
Yeah,
Seem pretty good. Tuesday the 15th, do we wanna do earlier, is 7 PM a good time?
This time works.
7 PM works for everybody for this, so let's establish October 15th at 7 PM as our next meeting date.
Should work, I mean, sometimes I never quite know at the school what's gonna happen next, but
Yeah, thanks.
Perfect, all right, so anything else? All right, so I make a motion to adjourn, can I get a second? Melissa, thank you so much, all right, thank you so much everyone for coming tonight, and we'll see you soon.
And you want me to do this minutes? Like I did last time?
Yeah, bye.
Say bye.